Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Got another StarCraft 2 commentary for you today. This is going to be between GL Seriously and Grubby. We are on Shattered Temple. Going to be a single game, not a best of series at all. So just one game between these two players. Hopefully a little more in depth than the last game that I ended up commentating. No epic movie quotes for this one either. But anyways, yes, we're here on Shattered Temple. Here is Seriously as our Red Terran player in the 6 o'clock position. And over here in the 9 o'clock, we do have Grubby as the blue Protoss player. Protoss versus Terran here on Shattered Temple. Grubby versus Seriously. Oh yes, Seriously indeed. I am seriously serial, guys. Alright, so Seriously we'll be coming out with that depot right by his command center. The whole purpose in doing so is, of course, to cut back on any mining time that would be otherwise used if you were to go for a wall off. And as I've talked about in the past, walling off, unless you're specifically hiding tech or an expansion or whatever, unless you're specifically attempting to hide something early on, walling off is dangerous. And I mean, it's dangerous even if you are specifically trying to hide something, because you are very vulnerable to lose any buildings up front against a Protoss or Terran player when any push eventually does come. Seriously, coming down with that Rax. Let's keep an eye at around 13 supply to see if he comes down refinery as well, or if he will be quick expanding. Back over here for Grubby, we do have got the gateway coming through. Also warping in there is that assimilator. We've got the probe scout moving out right now for Grubby. First checking the 12 o'clock position. Realizing he is not there, he will be turning face and moving right on down. And as mentioned, we want to look for that refinery, and it is not there. There is a total lack of refinery here for Seriously. So this, of course, implying that an expansion is coming through. And this is actually good for Seriously, because he should be able to get up this Marine before that probe scout heads to his base, and that's going to completely deny the scouting there of that. As long as Seriously micros properly, Grubby shouldn't be making it up into his base. So yeah, there you go. Grubby coming down with that Cyber Core, still the one gas, and let's keep an eye for a possible second gas. And look at this, I think it's like the second time they've paused so far in this game. Obviously, it doesn't affect the replay at all, but still, hilariously enough. All right, so Grubby moving out with that probe scout, and again, not going to be able to move up into Seriously's base. We've got that command center coming through, so let's see, is he going to even bother trying? A little dancing around there, trying to actually lure out that Marine so they can try to sneak around, but I don't think that's going to happen. Seriously, coming down with that depot right now. The probe will be pulling back, letting his shields recharge, and we'll keep an eye on that to see if he tries to move out. Still, Seriously hasn't scouted out Grubby. He will be, though, in just one moment. We have got a Stalker being chrono boosted out. Here comes that Warp Gate research. A second assimilator is in right now, and now that we've got 2 Marines, really no way that probe will be able to sneak up top, but I think he might still try. Needs to be careful. Needs to be very, very careful. That Stalker going to have a much better chance of getting up there, but right now he is a little distracted by this SCV scout. Seriously, not even microing that bad boy. And see you later to that guy. Yeah, he's gone. Take it easy, buddy. All right, so we've got Seriously coming out right now with that bunker at the front of his expansion. This will be a dead giveaway to Grubby as to what's going on. This should be telling him. Flags should be going off upon seeing this. Yeah, Seriously probably expanding. He denied the scout very hard early on, and then he also came out with his bunker at the natural. That's pretty strong implications as to what's going on, but always great to confirm your suspicions, and Grubby will be doing that. He's got that robotics coming through. We'll be getting that observer, and then he will be pushing out with that to confirm the expansion. We've got a second bunker here as well for Seriously. That Stalker pulling back before he lost any base damage, just losing some of those shields, which will, of course, recharge. Now, again, Grubby is expecting the expansion from Seriously, so coming out with one of his own, but still wants to confirm. The observer will be rallied right on over, and look at where it's going. Yeah, so they're going to be moving right on through a little zigzag formation, and then finally ending up at scouting that expansion. Here's the second Stalker, but again, really not going to be able to push through against this. Doesn't have much of a chance of actually. We'll be trying a little bit of micro to do some damage, and this is actually really good because forcing this repair is a problem for Seriously. Micro forward, though, taking out one. No, he doesn't. The Stalker with that superior speed does manage to pull away, and the Marine almost get taken out, but no, managed to sneak right back in the bunker in the nick of time. But still lots of damage done to Grubby Stalker, so he'll be much weaker once any big battle does eventually come through. There are the 3 gateways, and where art thou, observer? There was an observer. There it is. So here goes the observer for Grubby moving through and confirming his suspicions. There it is. Expansion is up. So now he knows, okay, whew, sigh of relief. I am safe. My expansion wasn't super risky because he also expanded, so we are sitting pretty right now. We've got a forge coming through. Grubby will be getting some of those upgrades, starting either, of course, with the weapons or the armor level 1, probably stating nothing but the blatantly obvious there. And uh-oh, Grubby will be losing the stalkers here. We can see there was a little bit, it wasn't really Miss Micro. He actually wanted those Marines to bypass those stalkers so that he could try to target fire them down, but unfortunately didn't end up taking out either one of them. We saw Grubby manage to pull away just barely in time with a little bit of health remaining for that stalker. SCV wasn't so lucky though. He does get taken out. Here comes that weapons level 1 scan going down. Oh, you saw that. Grubby was attempting to drop the Twilight Council, though seeing the scan was there, he held off on that, and he should be actually coming out with that as soon as that scan dissipates, so no more scans. So we should be seeing that Twilight Council, unless he just completely changed his mind at this point. We'll be interested to see if that actually is what ends up happening. So back over here for Seriously, interestingly enough, we do have a Banshee coming on through. Nothing ready as of right now. A couple more gateways getting dropped down for Grubby, and actually, wow, Grubby not still getting the Twilight Council. I understood his decision to delay it. There we go, finally. I understood his decision to not put it down when the scan was there, but I honestly expected this to come down immediately after that scan did dissipate. But maybe fearful of a secondary scan, he decided to hold off on that a little while longer. So we have got some siege tanks coming into play. Siege mode is up, and this is pretty interesting. This is a diversion to what we typically see. Typically, we're just seeing bio-heavy with medevacs and throwing in some ghosts, but this is a very different style of play. Seriously, deciding to play with siege tanks. This is siege tank play much more prevalent against Zerg and Terran opponents. Not as prevalent against Protoss, but still, either way, moving on through. We do have that Banshee getting one shot off, but pulling back, realizing, hey, there's no cloak. This harass isn't going to be that effective with all of this anti-air sitting right here. He needs to be careful. We'll be taking a few shots, and seriously, are you paying attention? Seriously. I don't know how many times I'm going to make that joke, but it will be more than just that one time. Taking a lot of damage to that Banshee, just not paying enough attention, unfortunately. Over here, we do have Grubby with a pylon on the low ground. We'll be using that to possibly do a little bit of harassing later on. We do have that very sneaky observer sitting up here on the high ground, and you know, he actually, no, he has got no vision of that whatsoever, so... There you go. There was a little bit of wavering light, but not much. So seriously, yeah, sitting with a few tanks here. I'm going to be going tank Banshee play and throwing in some Marines here. They will be getting Stimpack, I'm assuming. Oh my gosh, not even researching that. Probably, I don't know, maybe because, I don't know. I've got no excuse for that. I want to see Stimpack, seriously. I do, really. That would make a whole lot of sense to me. We do have Grubby right now moving into his high-yield expansion. What's going on here inside of the main for Grubby? He has gotten the level 2 weapons upgrade coming on through. Blink research just about finished. We get some Immortals as well as those Templar archives, so preparing for his transition. And here comes, seriously, getting ready to push forward with what appears to be a timing push. We've got a few Stalkers moving forward. They've got blanks, so Grubby, what in the Sam hell was that? He blinked himself into a wall. He was out of range of the high ground, and he had the vision there, so that was pretty. And there we go, finally blinking onto the high ground. We'll be trying to take out the tech lab, and then when blink is on cooldown, should be pulling back and trying to escape. And very nice, dropping that tech lab. That's fantastic, especially since seriously didn't even have the Stimpack research going, so it's going to be quite some time before he does get Stimpack. It looks like he's planning a timing push, though. It doesn't involve it. And we do have some Banshees over here, and got a few kills there, so was able to do some damage to the worker count over there. And again, at the same time, here he goes pushing across the map. So yeah, very, very nice right now for seriously moving his way straight across for what again appears to be a timing push. Again, interested to see not even bothering with that Stimpack. Again, without the medevacs, it kind of makes sense because you don't want to deteriorate your units, but the Stimpack, even without medevacs, is so very effective. It certainly makes a lot more sense to actually go through with it. Grubby sitting on a supply block right now because of this harassment from these Banshees, and now here we go. Banshees with the vision of the high ground, and then this tank line go to town, and he will be trying to kill off some of these warp gates. He should be getting the one. We'll be using the Marines and SCVs as a buffer from any possible push that we may be seeing from Grubby. And there we go. One gateway gets taken out. Here goes that second gateway getting dropped. This is a big problem right now. Grubby already losing 2 gateways. This third one looks to be in trouble. Is Grubby pushing from the backside, or is he circumventing and going for the main? That's really the big question. We got a few High Templars here in the mix. Also sitting with those Immortals, which would be very good at taking out the tanks, but need to be wary of those Marines. And oh my gosh, Grubby losing so many gateways. This is awful. He's going to be losing this gateway as well. We saw feedback there on the Banshee, but this is a problem. Grubby has only got one warp gate left. That is awful. And there we go. It looks like he will be just circumventing, or is he going from the backside? What is he doing? Oh, Grubby, please do something. I know you're a good player, but this is awful. You just lost all your gateways. He does have some more coming down over here. Blink Stalker testing the limits there, wants to see where that siege fire begins. And wow, seriously, just setting up shop over here. 3 bunkers, tanks shooting up on the high ground with the vision there from those Banshees. Grubby appears to just be waiting to rally up his forces. And that's the problem right now. Seriously spreading himself a little thin, and here comes a push. Big Storm going down those Marines without the sim pack. You can't really leave that fire. Tank fire doing a lot of damage, but I don't think it's enough. We got Marines and Banshees pulling on back right now. And oh, this is a problem for Grubby. Seriously doing a lot of damage. Grubby took out most of the tanks. We got a couple more tanks over here for Seriously. Continuing to push forward. That bunker should just get canceled right now. Very low in health. No reason to try to, even if he finished building that, it'd be very, very low in health. Couple Marines here sitting in this bunker and Seriously making a slow push. This is so interesting to see. This type of slow push I haven't seen against Protoss in a very, very long time. Very nice play here from Seriously. Needs to be careful though. We got those High Templar moving forward. Dropping some, no, not going to drop any Storm on the bows. There's a feedback though on the Banshee. Then we got some Archons coming out. Immortals going to town there on that bunker. Lots of Marine reinforcements. A few tanks here as well. And oh my gosh, this is such a strong push here from Seriously. Archons pushing back. We got those Zealots pushing back as well. Grubby has rebuilt those gateways, but those appear to get that they're going to be getting taken out again from this tank fire and this slow bunker push. This is just hilarious. Bunker push and Marines pushing forward. We get that tank line. Some more tanks reinforcing back over here. We got some tanks, but there's no vision of the high ground. Hopefully those, yeah, there we go, unsiege and move up back with the main force over here. Grubby looks like he will be losing these gateways as well. We got a few gateways over here. This one under siege before it even finishes warping in, and these gateways are going to get dropped again. And Grubby has just been losing gateways left and right so far this game. Seriously, still sitting over there with that bunker. He had a tank that was rallied over there. We got a couple more Marines coming out, but without that charge upgrade, not going to be that effective. A walk into a siege line. There's a Storm going down on the Marine heavy army of Seriously. Looks like this bunker will get taken out as well. So those Marines will be forced to push back. Do we have no more upgrades? And actually, wow, Seriously still not coming out with that stim pack, but continuing this very strong push here with these tanks and those Marines. This is just unreal. This is, oh, wow, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. This is just crazy here. Crazy stuff going on. Those Marines continue to help out. Needs to be careful again. That tank, target fire down. Some Zealots pushing forward. Getting rid of that other tank as well. There's just one tank left here up on the main line. We've got an unfinished bunker over here, and those guys need to get up here to help this push. But Grubby is just taking so much damage from this very, very interesting push here from Seriously. Really want to know how many gateways Grubby has lost. Look at how far behind he is though in terms of resource loss. This is just nuts. Seriously, just tearing through all of these production buildings of Grubby. Grubby's been forced to rebuild all of his gateways 2 times now, and he's losing the third batching over there. We got a couple Archons sitting up here in the main. Hopefully those get brought down to try to assist, but I don't know if Grubby even knows what to do in this situation. Again, this is just very, very pretty unreal in all honesty. Grubby might be losing this. We got a couple Archons moving down though, taking out the last of those Marines. Looks like that siege tank does get taken out. Most of the tank fire is gone right now, and there we go. Seriously getting pushed back right now. Grubby finally holding the line and able to push back Seriously's aggression, and very, very nice there. Finally, Grubby with some breathing room. Finally, I'm given a moment to breathe here as well, but that was crazy, guys. Grubby lost gateways in his main. He came out with gateways in expansion. He lost most of those. Then he came out with a few gateways at his third, and he lost at least one of those as well. All right, so time to get the head on straight and figure out what's that transition. Now, I'm really surprised that Seriously just didn't bother with that stim research at all. You know, obviously he doesn't want to overstim without any medevacs because that's a huge problem, but at least having the option. I mean, geez, seriously. Seriously. All right, so we did have an attempted counter push here from Grubby. However, there is a nice spread of tanks over here for Seriously, so that did delay any attempt that we did see by Grubby. Now, one thing I will say here, Grubby still has his bases up. He didn't lose his base. Economically speaking, he didn't take much of a probe loss. I'm pretty sure he pulled a few of the workers that were at this expansion off once that aggression and that slow push did end up sneaking its way right up into that natural. But the fact that Seriously didn't get that stim for that push, I think that really hurt him. I really think that Seriously may have been able to take out Grubby there if stim pack was in play. But either way, now Grubby's able to work up and get that charge upgrade here for Zealots, and that's going to help tremendously at helping him take out any additional tank lines that we may be seeing from Seriously. We can see him actually right now just moving around the map. He's just looking for any stray units, anything like that. We do have a Banshee sitting over here for Seriously, and he might be able to get a few shots off. Might actually be able to get a... Oh, no, he doesn't have Cloak. I was going to say he might get a killer. So look at that massive feedback. Wow. Bringing him down to very low HP, and then one Stalker getting one shot off there as well. So Seriously will be forced to pull back into the corner with that, and actually we'll be just doing some scouting as well. He's checking these expansions, wants to know if Grubby has moved much further than his third. So yeah, Grubby right now should probably expand. I would really like to see that happen, in all honesty. I think this is a perfect time, and there we go. Grubby will be dropping that expansion. We can also see Seriously moving up into the high yield right now. At the same time, Grubby checking the possible expo over here. Then he will be working down these rocks and moving his way right up to the backside over here. And this is actually very vulnerable right now. Seriously could take a lot of damage, lose some depots. He'd be losing this army pretty quickly, and losing that Ghost Academy would really suck as well. So here we go. The rocks are destroyed. Looks like Seriously already took care of these rocks, so that'll allow Grubby to walk right on in there. He's actually just going to be sending one Zealot up to scout and see what's going on over there. And wow, just on the edge of what could be a potential engagement in just one moment, we've got a Blink Stalker pushing forward, trying to get some SCV kills. Does he not? Does he even get one? Please get one Stalker. You got, oh man, blinking back. Didn't end up getting a kill. He had one SCV at really low health, but didn't end up target firing that, unfortunately. Grubby sitting very high Templar heavy, going to help tremendously against any bio that we are seeing from Seriously, but won't do much against those tanks, in all honesty. Just not that effective. Will, of course, do well against those SCVs and those mules, though, and he's just laying blanket storms, even for a single Marauder. So Seriously, moving that tank line a little bit forward, just encroaching a little bit closer to Grubby's army, and again, here we go, Grubby moving into that expansion right now. Stalker's moving around, trying to find that Banshee. We've got a nice healthy mix over here for Seriously, sitting with that Raven for that cloak detection, as well as that point defense drone once he does save up enough energy. We've got a transition here to Stargate play from Grubby. So Grubby will be working up into Stargates. Where are those being built? It looks like right up in their main, where the mineral line did used to be here for Grubby. And here comes the intent to push, moving down. Storming, getting a little bit of damage on the bio. Some Blink Stalkers move forward as well. The tank numbers are pretty thin right up here at the front. Those tanks are a little too far back to be able to deal with any of that range damage that we were seeing from Grubby over there. But just, again, nuts. It's been a nuts game. I don't know what to say besides that, guys. So Seriously right now, getting ready to move up into this expansion. He will encounter that Zealot, which should delay it, even if it's just momentarily. High Templar sitting here in the middle, possibly trying to prepare for any storms if we do see a push here from Seriously. So Seriously, after that initial engagement, just working back up his forces, he finally does have Stim Pack in play. A little disappointed to see no Medivacs. Okay, there we go. I was going to say, definitely do want some Medivacs in the mix here. That's going to help, especially once you start transitioning into Bio Heavy. Also sitting with a bunch of Ghost here as well, so those EMPs will certainly be clutch once any engagement does come through. We do have Grubby moving here into that back expansion. This will be base number 5 for him, and again, we do have Seriously moving over here in a base number 4, and oh no, Grubby losing the SCV, Grubby taking out the SCV that Seriously was using to build this refinery over here and forcing that cancellation, so we'll be seeing a couple Marines push forward to take care of that Zealot. The Zealot moving down to take out that SCV there as well. Back over here, Proxy Pylon sitting up here at this expansion, that allowing Grubby to deal with any expo that Seriously may bring over there. We've got a very large spread over here for Seriously, that tank line plus these bunkers, lots of bio as well as these Ghosts over here. So lots of forces sitting in the middle here for Grubby. Grubby coming out with those level 3 weapons upgrade. Let's take a look here at the upgrades for Seriously. His bio sitting 1-1. He's got 2-2 coming out here as well. One weapons upgrade as well for that mech army, for those tanks there. And here we go, that transition was into Phoenixes. Also some Void Rays will be coming on through, so getting some of that air dominance that will help him deal with those Banshees, as well as I believe that Raven's still here. There it is, so the Raven is still in play, sitting at 200 to 200 energy. That point defense drone definitely going to come factor into things, although we're not sitting too Stalker heavy. It's actually a lot more charged Zealots here, and that's that point defense drone clearly doesn't help against that. But here we go, late game Phoenix Harass, taking out some SCVs. Very nice here by Grubby, doing some damage to the Econ here of Seriously. and then pulling back, and he will be moving back into this area. Looks like he should be able to take out that SCV, building that turret, and do a bit of damage here to this economy as well. Very nice here, late game harass by Grubby. Really enjoy seeing this transition, and given the fact that seriously well, he was tank heavy. Looks like he's starting to switch into bio heavy, but still not able to deal with these quite as of yet. He is trying to come down with some turrets though to try to dissuade those Phoenixes from being able to push into his econ and do too much damage. I just stuttered like 17 times. All right, so we do have those 2-2 just about finished over here for Seriously. Again, Seriously doing what he can to deal with this Phoenix harass, which is just pretty much taking it. He's not doing much else. Really, again, probably just doesn't know what to do about this. He just really needs a small group of Marines stimming up. Can absolutely tear through these Phoenixes here. Let's see if we do have anything. Okay, just those 2 medevacs right now in play. No more than that. Again, I would really like to see a little bit more. There's some ghosts. Move forward. Oh, look at those EMPs that he landed with that cloak. My gosh. That was a lot of EMP damage, and here we go, Seriously pushing forward, stimming up right now. The Phoenixes need to be careful of that heavy Marine army. Big storm going down on the bulk of Seriously's forces. All those Phoenixes have been taken out. We're going to be seeing some micro here from Seriously. Although he doesn't have those medevacs, he needs to be very careful not to overstim that siege line, setting back up the bio, pushing forward. That was just unreal, those EMPs that we saw there from Seriously. I did catch the tail end of that, but that was crazy moving forward with that cloaked ghost. He landed just some very clutch EMPs, and that certainly helped him do a lot of damage to Grubby. Gonna take a look at that unit loss tab. Things are getting a little bit closer to even, although Grubby is still a bit behind. Grubby also coming down with a crap ton of gateways over here. Very interesting positioning. This is actually going to stop any expo from going down, though, so that's certainly pretty interesting decision making over here by Grubby. And here we go, another push coming down, moving right up in that tank line. The tank line is a little spread out, though. One tank was unsieged. The bio spreading out, dealing with some of those storms, being forced to pull back right now, managing to stay out of most of that storm range, but still the big problem is Seriously not very medevac heavy. That constant stimming that we're seeing from him hurts him quite a bit, so he does need to incorporate some more medevacs into his army here. We do have some carriers coming out as well for Grubby. Grubby making that transition. He did start things off there with some Phoenixes, moved into a little bit of Void Ray play, but then that final transition here, moving right into carriers, and carriers will be very difficult for Seriously to deal with, especially since he doesn't have any Vikings in play right now. Do want to take a look at the composition. We've got 3 ghosts in play, only 2 tanks right now, and then everything else is bio and medevacs. So the late game transition into bio. Again, these carriers going to be very difficult. We get the air weapons level 2 upgrades coming through. Also that Protoss shield level 1. 3 carriers working their way on through. We've got a Dark Shrine over here as well. And look at this, Grubby with these gateways up on this side of the map. Well, it doesn't really matter where the gateways are because they are warp gates, but he is warping in some units over here. Couple Charge Zealots as well as those High Templar. We're seeing that attempted expansion. Is he going to finish off the SCV? No, I was hoping that he'd finish off the SCV before finish building that, but instead we are having those Zealots just go to town on a few of these SCVs. This Zealot will be sitting on the edge there within range. Ooh, this is very nice. He might be able to get a big storm off, and this could actually be pretty devastating to Seriously again because he is so lacking in the medevac count. The one Zealot though still doing some damage, interestingly enough. There we go, finally getting target fire. There's a storm going down on those SCVs, doing a bit of damage. Able to sneak up into that expansion though. Seriously will be taking that out, and it looks like he should get the free kills of all of these. So this is a problem in Grubby placing these buildings over here, is that as soon as Seriously spotted it, see you later to all these gateways. So it was interesting. I don't know if it was the best decision in the world, though, because again, as we're going to see here, he will be losing these gateways, unpowering those as well by taking down that pylon. And there we go. But here comes a push right now, moving forward. Grubby moving into that tank line. Seriously needs to get something off here. Look at those massive feedbacks on all of those ghosts. We had 2 AMPs, very nicely placed, and actually took out all of the energy of those High Templar. But here come those carriers into play as well. And we do have a portion of Seriously's army sitting over here, and that is not where they need to be. A couple Archons coming through, but Seriously taking out most of the ground forces. Will be pushing back against these carriers. Carriers do need to be careful to stay away from those Stim Marines. Here we go, Marines continuing to stim up, chasing down those carriers, taking out all of the shields of those one. We got Dark Templar, but those get scanned and taken out very quickly. Couple of High Templar in there, but not enough energy to storm. And Seriously continuing up this push, and this is actually looking pretty scary for Grubby. Walking through the storm, though, taking a bit of damage. Seriously's unit's very, very weak right now. Needs some more medevacs. I said this before, but there we go. He's got a ton of medevacs over here. Why don't you bring those on up over to your main force? That's a good idea, I would have to say. 1DT doing some damage over here to Sirius's expansion. That does get taken out, though. We've got a Ghost over here. We need him with that main force to drop some EMPs. Another Ghost over here, and there's that Viking transition for Seriously to try to deal with those carriers that we have in play. How many do we have right now? Looks like we are sitting on 5. There's a big EMP going down, taking out almost all of the energy of those charged zealots over there, and needs to push forward and try to target fire down these carriers. These carriers are going to be doing a bit of damage. He needs those Marines, but the Marine count is very low right now, and Seriously, without enough anti-air, cannot deal with these 5 carriers right now. They're laying massive waste to pretty much all of the ground forces. We have a lot of Marines, but they're not target firing. Instead, they're shooting those interceptors. That's a big mistake there for Seriously, because he needs to target fire these carriers. Otherwise, those carriers will lay waste to everything that he has, and not doing that, forced to call the GG. Whoa, boy, guys. What a game. What a game. Hopefully you have enjoyed this. This was my second StarCraft commentary for today. It's pretty much a treat for you guys, because normally I take weekends off, but I had a little bit of extra time, so I decided to come out with a few commentaries. Hopefully you did find them entertaining. The first one was short, but pretty sweet, and this was a longer, pretty epic game, so hopefully both of them met your StarCraft commentary needs. As always, guys, thank you for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe. Oh my god, my talking fails. Thanks again, guys, and as always, keep watching and keep owning.